morning. I'll take these off before I begin. Thank you very much. Okay. Hello, my name is Paddy Shanahan, and my quest is called Swim for Survival. And I'm trying to prevent needless drowning in Indonesia by providing free, life-saving swim survival education to children who don't have access to them. While I grew up with a love of the water, those who cannot swim fear it. And when surrounded by water, swimming can be the difference between life and death. In 2021, there were 4,500 drownings in Indonesia. Here in Bali, we face an uncomfortable truth that there are lots of private beach clubs, but very few public pools. Almost no school swim program, and swimming lessons are beyond the reach of most. In 2009, a ferry bearing 250 passengers sank off of the coast of Sulawesi. 22 people were rescued, but the rest were feared dead. Police and Associated Press reports blamed the scale of the tragedy on the fact that, quote, Indonesians generally don't know how to swim, unquote. This is particularly problematic, as the population is concentrated heavily around the coast. And if you don't live near the sea, you live by the river or Subak. So for a country with over 80,000 kilometers of coastline, this should be a nation of swimmers. In looking at the history, I could discuss various factors, ranging from the seafaring peoples of Sulawesi to the importance of rice farming in the development of a land-based culture. Land-based culture. There are superstitious beliefs about dangers of the deep and mariners' tales of how learning to swim is unlucky, as it implies a mistrust in the boat. But in reality, this is about money. Time and money are barriers to entry, and children pay the price. In Ireland, where I am from, a similar situation existed up until just 20 years ago. But as Ireland's economic fortunes improved, beliefs and practices quickly changed. And now, swim survival and swimming education has been recently added into the school curriculum. A similar change, I hope, is in store here too. But until then, people will continue to be at risk every day. Throughout my own time in Bali, I have indulged tremendously in the oceans. I love swimming and surfing, but I'm conscious of the disparity in swim education between local and international children. Swimming is a necessary life skill, and learning to swim is much easier for a child than an adult. So the best way to achieve swim equity is to learn to swim at school. But how was I going to do that? My family was involved at Chloe Orphanage in Denpasar, and Victor, the owner, told me about his difficulties of getting swim lessons for the kids. I offered to help them, and in January, I started teaching an amazing group of 10 kids at home. People from the orphanage would always come and supervise. It was quite daunting at first, but as soon as we got in the pool, everything went great because the kids were so happy to be in the water. Over the next 3 months, we learned life-saving skills like floating, water safety, and survival swimming. I also added some clean water environmental education to bridge the gap between swimming and clean water. And I have to say, I loved teaching the kids. They were so happy and filled with personality. 6-year-old Lisa was so excited when she mastered the ball float. And the day Joelle swam a full length of the pool, I realized that I'd successfully taught a person to swim. 3 months. 3 months and over a dozen lessons later, the kids can all swim, they can propel themselves in the water, some can properly swim, they can all float, but all are far less likely to drown in the event of a river accident. I wish I could explain what all of these kids are like, but unfortunately the 10-minute quest time limits won't allow for it, so I'm very sorry. Teaching is not easy, but it's brilliant when a child goes from I can't to I can. The kids learn swimming skills, but in the end, they taught me a lot more than I taught them. And they showed me that although this 14-week course was great, that I wanted to have a bigger impact, and I wanted to expand it to more people. I thought to try and identify a need somewhere in the Seabang area, starting with the Kulkul connection. I spoke to Ibu Kanya and Ibu Darby about introducing free, life-saving swim survival education to the KKC kids, who are a group of children from the Seabang area that come to Green School every week to attend free English classes. After gauging interest with them, I got 60 positive responses. That was a lot, and far more that I could teach on my own. We were going to need proper pools and coaches. I visited numerous pools, met with pool managers and swim coaches, but there was such short availability, and fees for the kind of coaching we were looking for always seemed to be outrageously high. I was starting to think I would never find a way, but then we got a reply from SwimDo, an amazing charity who provides free swim survival education and creates local employment by training swim coaches. They like them. Also, we have a special guest from SwimDo here today, is Ibu Indira, so if you want, here she is. They liked what I was doing and wanted to help me. And to my great surprise and delight, they agreed to help teach the KKCs with me and also to continue with the help of Green School once I left. It was to be a 5-week course with 2 lessons per week, teaching essential swim survival education. I would fundraise to pay for this program with KKC and also for another program that we were planning for July in Denpasar that will include the Chloe Orphanage kids. I set a goal of raising enough money to teach 200 kids to swim. After much searching, we finally secured Tirtayasa Pool, a good option. It was 5 minutes from Green School in Mumbai. The course started on May 11th, and we finally began the first lesson with the KKC and SwimDo. We started off with some fun warm-ups, and we quickly got in the pool. The first day, we were all focused on teaching swimming, teaching floating, as it was the first step in the curriculum. And it turned out we had some very quick learners. Before I continue the speech, I'm going to go to a video that's going to show you images and video from what this course was about. So here you are. The administration side was really difficult and took a very long time. There were endless sign-up forms, health and safety documents, registration forms, etc. And it was really difficult and time-consuming, but I really have to thank Ibu Darwi for all her help. Per child, the course cost the same in Ireland as 4 cups of coffee, so that became the headline of my fundraising campaign. I sent the word out through swim clubs in Ireland. We live by the coast, and sea swimming is exceedingly popular. Thanks so much to my dad and brother Sam, who kicked off the first of very many freezing cold sea swims in aid of Swim for Survival. The swimming community, the Irish swimming community, were really generous, and we ended up raising 50 million Indonesian rupiah, reaching my target to raise it. which was reaching my target to pay for enough for 200 kids to learn to swim. So, so my journey started off with seeing a need and trying to help. Swimming is not a luxury. It's a life-saving and life-changing necessity. And every child needs to learn to swim. And every time they do, their life gets a little bit better, and they have a skill that they can pass on to others. In partnering with SwimDo, I've learned so much. I got my assistant coach license from training with them in the pool each week. And together we were able to have a much greater impact. Together we have established an ongoing Swim for Survival program in Sibang, and our first group of graduates are the KKC kids. Secondly, Swim for Survival will open a course in July in Denpasar, which will include the Chloe Orphanage kids. And lastly, SwimDo are using the Swim for Survival course as a pilot scheme to influence policy in the local Banjar. This is amazing and something of which I'm really proud. But the real impact has been on the numerous children to whom we have taught this life-saving skill within the past few months, and to whom we are very grateful. It has been an incredible experience, from nervously writing my first lesson plans at home to launching Swim for Survival. We have graduates with life-saving abilities and some very happy parents. Every time I get in the water, I know we are doing something important, teaching a skill that provides joy in life, but far more importantly, might one day save a life. I would like to thank all of those who have helped me on my quest journey. Ibu Darwi and Ibu Kanya, Pak Pat, Victor from Chloe Orphanage, Ibu Angie, Ibu Laura, Ibu Emma, everyone at SwimDo, Ibu Nunki from Sojil Brew, my father, my mother, and my brother, and of course my mother, who helped me very much. And also to all the kids that we have taught swimming, which has been just really amazing. Now, before I finish, I would like to warn you that the following is going to be very cliché. So if you're not up for that, I invite you to take any cautions necessary to save yourselves. My message is this: every child should learn to swim. In just 5 weeks, you can learn life-saving skills. Imagine if this was taught in every school. In the words of the great philosopher Dory from Nemo, just keep swimming.